Clear prop!
Good. So left hand on key.
Magneto to start position. That is cool. Start warning light should be off. Oil pressure should be rising. RPM set to 1.
Leave it at about 1500 per minute, 1400. Just for this point.
So that's set. Ammeter, so we're getting close to charge. Suction is more than 3 inches. Radio A is on, check the frequency. Don't need to, don't do it. Okay, so set DI, AI is selected off the horizon.
Right, so DI then is showing, well the compass is showing, well actually that's okay.
Yep. So flaps, check the stages, down and then up, yep. Check symmetrical movement. Fully down, and then put it all the way up. Flaps, magnetos, check at 1000 for dead cut.
Okay, so all we do is just turn the key once to the left.
And RPM drop.
Drop and back to the right.
And then back to right. Drop.
That's the same, that's right. Okay. That's not a dead cut. I'll show you what a dead cut is. 1, 2. So it's just turning it off ever so briefly.
Yeah.
Because if there's a fault with the magnetos, it won't turn off. But that leaves the propeller live if anybody turns it that way.
So magnetos, turn up volume, listen out, request radio check.
Yeah, right. Let's set on then.
Oh, one mixer. How do you hear me?
I can hear you 5. So how about me?
Yeah, I can hear you 5 by 5.
Good. Let's have a look over the shoulder. Just wondering whether the weather's going to be good enough to go flying, actually, to be honest, Casper. Yeah. After all this. In fact, we could go fly if we can.
What, a transit?
No, I was only joking.
Oh. Getting my hopes up there.
Well, no, because that would just be a bit of fun. I don't actually think they'd be very keen on taking us today, because the cloud is actually quite low.
Yeah.
So, what we're going to do, if we do nothing else, let's have a look. I'm just going to move the airplane forward a little bit.
Yep.
So, well, I'll get you to move the airplane a bit forward. So, first of all, close the throttle. Push the brakes very firmly.
Yep.
And release them. No, you don't need to do that. No,
oh,
no, just press to release. That's it. And there we are. Now reapply 1200 RPM. And I'm going to chat on the radio.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So, first of all, then, for the radio, you've got to say hello to them.
Yeah.
And tell them who you are.
Yeah.
But that's all you need to tell them, because we don't want to tell them anything else. Because if somebody wanted landing clearance and we started wittering on about the weather and so on, it means they may go around. So it gives them the opportunity to talk to us.
Yeah.
Redhill Tower, Golf, Bravo, Mike, Uniform Oscar.
Bravo, Mike, Uniform Oscar down.
Okay, weather doesn't really look good enough for flying, but could we do a little bit of taxi practice just around the taxiway for a few minutes?
Yep, should be a problem with that. Can use the Delta taxiway round to Delta 1 and back, if that's okay.
Delta 1 and back, that's fine for the moment, thanks, Golf, Uniform Oscar.
Let me know when you complete.
Okay. Okay then, so, have a look around, make sure there's nobody here, and just apply a little bit of power. And hands on the controls. That's it, and push with your right rudder. Now when we go over grass, so you come back on the power a little bit of brake. So don't forget, the wings are quite wide, so you need to put a little bit more right rudder. That's it, keeping an eye on there.
Yep.
Good. Okay, so bring the power back a little bit. I'm going to reduce the throttle mixture as well. So, the idea is, you probably know this, keep the yellow line underneath you.
Yes.
Okay? So, add a tiny bit of power. This is, you know, you can go a little bit quicker than this, but what we don't want to do, so you've got to have a little bit of anticipation for this, because it's not the best of steering compared to a car. So, keep pushing.
Does it have differential braking?
It does. Yes. So as we're doing this, we also want to check the instruments, so keep going,
Yeah.
and we'll run through. Do you know how to check the various instruments for taxi?
No, I've never actually gone through it before.
Okay, I'll demonstrate then and I'll get you to do it because we'll go taxi. A little bit more power just to keep us going a little bit, that's it. So, as we turn left, numbers decrease, left turn, a little bit of right skid on the ball
Yep.
and the attitude indicator level, so you need to go back into the centre because you're about to go on the grass look. So. Well, you see there's some little green cat's eyes.
Yeah.
You want to catch those if you can.
What?
Okay, so
taxiway
stop.
stopping?
No, keep going. We go all the way around to Delta 1. So, keep
Got ya.
going. So again, the numbers are gradually increasing, right turn, bit of left skid, and the attitude indicator remains level. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Well,
Got ya.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 actually. 5
Yeah.
things to do. So as we go around this corner, if you'd like to check the instruments as well.
So, compass changing, left, changing, bit of skid.
Left turn,
Yeah,
left bank,
Sorry,
and
yeah.
attitude indicator level. Yep, good.
And then same numbers, decreasing, increasing, left turn was there, and bit of skid.
Good. Looks pretty horrible out there actually. So try braking the airplane. Or don't brake, no, try slowing up. Don't try to brake it.
But stop it.
Yep. So try and keep us in a straight line.
Oh.
So it's just applying the brakes at the same time together, roughly. Just making sure that's it, and carry on. Good. And taxiway goes around to the left here.
Yep. Doing the same.
Yes, please.
Oh. Numbers decreasing, left bank, and tiny bit of slip.
Good.
Are we taking 2.5?
We're going to go up to 2.5, and then before we get to the next holding point, which you can just see the red and black board over there, we're going to stop and turn around.
Got ya.
That'll be good practice for turning around in a tight spot. I'll show you how to do that, and then... so again, try braking. Just keep us in a straight line. That's it, good. And when you come to a halt, we've set 1200 so the plugs don't turn up. And hold it on the brakes. In fact, you can apply the brakes now, and we'll see whether they work. On the handbrake, in effect, so...
Oh,
stop.
sorry, parking brake.
Parking brake, yeah.
Oh, sorry, what's the procedure for that again?
So push with your feet,
Yep.
pull with your hand, let go with your feet, let go with your hand. Okay, let's see how well they hold. It's not quite holding that well. Perhaps you can press them quite hard enough. It doesn't matter, that's fine. Okay, so before we taxi off, particularly on a hard surface, close the throttle, push hard with your feet,
Yep.
and now get going again.
So we don't think we're actually going to be flying today?
I don't think we are, to be honest, Casper, unfortunately. I just think it's... the cloud's very low, and we could end up... well, the trouble is, when it's so low, it means it's difficult for us to do what we want to do.
Yes.
And I don't want to waste your time and money. Well, not so much the time, but the money, because you want... So, keep us on the yellow centre line.
Yep.
And I'd like you to stop just after these numbers. Good. Excellent. So, I'm going to show you, so reset 1200 RPM. Tweak that up a tiny bit. I've reduced that because, you know, I said to you about the mixture runs rich.
Yep.
If we taxi around at low RPM, it will oil the plugs up. So, yeah, it's... So, okay, I'm going to show you how to turn the airplane on the taxiway. Now, do you think we can turn around in this taxiway?
Not in our current position, unless we turn
No,
either
you're
way.
absolutely correct, yes. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to show you, so just follow me through on the controls.
Yep.
So, I have control.
You have control.
So, we need to, as you rightly say, we need to go right. So I'm just going to apply right brake as well.
Yes.
To make us turn better. Straighten us up, and then full left pedal and full, not quite full brake, but a lot of brake.
Yes.
And then see, we can turn around in quite a tight spot here. Actually, I'm applying a bit more brake, a bit more power. So we've almost got full brake on. And we can turn all the way around. Look, there we are. We can just about turn around in that taxiway, actually. This is nice and wide, but this gives us a better opportunity. So, I don't want you to go on the grass, so there we are. You have control again.
I have control.
And I'd like you to turn us around and face the other way.
Okay.
Okay, back onto the centre line.
Yep.
Good. Now, he said we can go as far as Delta 1 and just use the taxiway to and from, so that's what we call a clearance limit.
Yeah.
Okay. A bit of an air traffic term, but it's just applicable to pilots because that's who we're talking about. Okay, I'd like you now to turn around, but turn the other direction, okay?
Okay, so...
We turn to, which way did we go last time? I can't
we
remember.
went left, so I'll do a right one this time.
Yeah, good. Good. Excellent. Okay. I'd like you to take me back along the taxiway.
Yep.
And just peeking up over there is a red board which is Delta 2.
Yep.
I'd like you to stop there, please, and bear in mind which way the wind is blowing from. So where's the wind coming from?
He said last time on the ATIS the wind is coming from
Roughly the south. No, roughly the south.
so sort of blowing this direction here.
Yeah. So what I'd like you to try and do, well actually let's first of all have a practice, see if you can turn around on this taxiway.
Any direction?
Just turn all the way around. In traffic, yeah, just turn around so that you're facing the other way.
Might have been better if I did the other way because I can't really see the grass.
Oh well, you'll know for next time.
Yeah.
But don't put it back on the centre line, just, that's it. Okay, continue. Okay, stop us. Well, in fact, go over there a bit and then do it the other way. Good.
Back on the centre line?
Yes, please. So the wind actually is 210.
Yeah.
So it's, as you say, coming from that direction over there. So I'd like you to go back to the Delta 2 board.
Yep.
And I'd like you to position us in such a way that we're into wind and we can do our power checks.
There you go. I think I've got a bit of how you're controlling the speed now.
Yeah, oh, you have. You're doing really well.
And then turn into wind?
After the pecked line, yes, because this is the whole. This actually is the holding point for that runway.
Yeah.
So if we turn around here and then face into wind.
taking it nice and slowly.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
Right.
Excellent, good. Okay, so apply the parking brake. Make sure you set 1200. That's it. Apply the parking brake. So push very firmly with your feet, really firmly.
Yep.
I'll help you a bit. Okay, that back. Hold that out. Let go with your feet. And let go. And let's see whether the brakes work. Okay, so we've done our taxi checks. So we'll do our power checks now.
Right, so position into wind. And there's no rough ground, we're on taxiway. Brakes are on. Oil, T's and P's steady within the limits. So green, green.
That's it on this one. Yeah, good.
RPM, check clear around, set 1,700. Right.
So, a lot of what you do in an airplane is about thinking ahead, not just thinking. Do you play chess?
Yes, I do actually.
No, good. Well, that's ideal. Just turn that down a little bit. It's a lot about planning, not what you're going to do next, about what you're going to do in a couple of moves. So, you go up to the holding point. You've got to plan where you're going to be and how you're going to get out and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So, when you coming up to the holding point, when you're coming up to do your power checks, have a look around. So instead of having to check clear all around, do it as you're coming up and turning. So it's one thing you've done. So you know, and then you can also position the airplane so it's A, not selfish, so you're blocking the entire holding point, and secondly that you know you're in a position that you can easily get out as well. So it's all about planning several steps ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. So anyway, so we don't need to check around because we've done that. So set 1,700 RPM then. Try putting your finger on here so that's it. That's better.
You can send like little movements.
Yes, there we are. 1,700. Okay.
Operate to check RPM drop. So carburetor heat, approx drop 500. Sorry, 50 RPM. So
just pull it out. Yeah. There we are. Back in. And there, about 50 RPM. Good.
So magnetos, check each magneto. Maximum permissible drop is 125 RPM.
Okay, so
both left, both right, both.
So not only was the drop less than 125, but also it was within 50 RPM of one of each other as well. Okay. So good. Okay. So
suction should be 4.5 to 5.4.
There's something seriously wrong with that gauge because it barely works, so that's not correct. But all that is doing is driving those instruments, so we're not going to go instrument flying today, so don't worry about that.
So, ammeter is charging.
It is, yeah. Well, it's not actually, to be accurate, it's not discharging, so that's fine.
Oil temp, T's and P's steady within limits, green. And idle, so smoothly close the throttle, check RPM between 5 and 700 oil. Meter should be discharging.
Well,
or
not
pressure.
doing anything really. Okay, so have a quick look at temperature and pressures.
Yep, that's for the.
Well, the temperature's not going to change much because that's a slow process, but the oil pressure's within the green. Even if it dropped below the green arc, it would be alright as long as it hadn't gone down to the red.
Yes.
Okay, and then it says
RPM reset to 1,200.
Good.
There.
Okay, so now we need to go over the page.
And then it goes to pre-takeoff checks.
Yes.
So, I'm guessing T stand for trim.
Yep.
So trimmer control set for takeoff, which it is. Throttle friction on that finger tight, so that's finger tight there.
Yep, good.
Mixture rich, so carburetor heat is cold. Magnetos on both, master switch is on. Fuel on, sufficient primary and locked.
So fuel is on. So I'd still check it. You know, make sure that someone hasn't pulled it. You know, if I just accidentally pulled it out now, you know, how long it'll last.
So is it set on both right now?
No, it's set on. No, it's set off on off at the moment.
Off.
Yeah, so put it back on. It'll turn off. If you don't put it on soon, it'll.
Right. So it's back
it'll
on
stop. Yes, it will. No, there's no both on this one. It just feeds directly from both tanks by gravity. That's why there's no electric fuel pump.
Ah, so the fuel pump that we sumped at the front, is that what it's going into? And then before going into...
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
That's why it kept running even though it's on off.
Well, yes. It'll have some fuel. If you bring it up now, it'll stop in a sec. while, isn't it, actually? Interesting. Anyway, carry on. We'll find out how long it takes.
Yeah. So flaps is required.
Primary in and locked. Oh, the other thing about sufficient. How much fuel have we got?
We have got.
Well, we decided we probably had about 2.5 hours, didn't we? So we got an hour and 3/4 plus reserve. Blimey, is it not going off at all? That's scary. Yep. So primary and locked. So just give that a tug, because if that does come out, that can spoil your day a bit too.
Yeah. So it's locked.
I have known it happen actually, not on one of these, but I've known it happen in a Cherokee that it's come out and someone's pushed it in, thinking, oh, that's a good idea to push it back in, and it gives the engine too much fuel, so it coughs and sputters for a while.
Yes. Flaps is required. So.
Yep, 10% for takeoff, 10 degrees so for takeoff. Just look over your shoulder. Look over your right shoulder, you see both of them then.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, this is amazing. I don't know what this is. I'm going to put it back to 1 actually, but.
Yep. Right, so flaps is required, gauges, oil temperature and pressures and limits, which it is. Instrument set, directional indicator set.
So what's that showing?
That's showing sort of around 210. South is 180.
Yep.
200, so 190.
190, yeah, good.
So 3
push and turn.
Yep. Altimeter set, so
1008, yeah.
Yes.
And also, the other thing, as a cross check, the aerodrome is about 200 feet above sea level, so that makes sense.
Yep. So pitot heaters should be on.
Well, no, we don't need that on actually. You only need that if we're going to go into cloud.
Yeah.
And the other thing about that is, only ever put that on when you've lined up and ready to go, because otherwise it will melt.
Really?
If you put it on now and you waited there for 5 minutes, the pitot heater would melt, or the pitot would melt. It wouldn't be good.
Wow. Well, right. So
nav aid set. We don't need any nav aids, but you just want to check that anything you had needed to done. Yeah.
mine is secure. Mine is secure. What about yours?
Yes, thank you.
Hatches, doors and windows secure. My door is closed and locked.
Yep. And you don't forget, you can have your window open actually if you wanted to. So you shouldn't really for takeoff.
Yeah. So. Yep, so control brief full and free move. So, shut it.
Yep.
Full left. That one should be up. Coming up. That one should go up. Right wing. And the elevator should come down.
Good.
Central.
And finally the takeoff brief. You haven't got a copy of that, but there is a copy on the website.
I think I have it printed out somewhere. I should do. On the Redhill Aviation one, yeah, because
Yes.
I printed it out and laminated it.
Oh, good.
Let me have it.
Oh, never mind. It doesn't matter today particularly, but so basically, takeoff brief is going to tell you what we're going to be doing, reminding you what we're going to be doing in the next couple of minutes, just in case there is an emergency. So, we're departing off runway 18. The wind is from the right,
Yep.
so 20 degrees from the right, but at 9 knots. You know what the crosswind limit on this aircraft is?
No, I don't.
12 knots. So we haven't even got to do the calculation. 12 knots is fine. 9 knots is fine. So when we take off, we are going to drift a bit off to the left, and also we might be pushed a bit to the left on the runway. So if we're doing a crosswind takeoff, we'd put into wind aileron, wind's coming from the right, and as the speed increases, you reduce that. We
Yeah.
get airborne. The airplane will want to weathercock into the wind. So actually, quick look at the direction indicator. That's a good heading to fly as we climb out. So we track out on the runway centreline. We're going to rotate at 50 knots. Climb at 60 with one stage of flap, and 65 after 500 feet QNH with no flap. And the other thing, if we have a problem, a door coming open, a warning light, something like that, on the runway before we've rotated, I'm going to close the throttle, come to a halt on the runway. If we have an engine problem after we've rotated, I'll land back on the runway if available, otherwise pitch down for 65 knots, which is the best glide speed, and look for somewhere suitable to land in. I will carry out checks and informing ATC only if time permits. And the other thing, we will not make an attempt to turn back to the runway, unless we're at least 1,000 feet. And then just at the end of that, any questions? So there we go. That's your pre-departure brief. So let's have a look at on the way. So we'll tax. I'd like you to taxi me back now to the holding point Delta 1, which is down there.
Right. So just press on the brakes and then...
Press hard, that's it. Don't close the throttle first on the tarmac.
Never mind.
There we are. Have a good look around, yeah, and off we go. Now we'll do a couple. This is a good time to practice. We never get time to do these.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what if the steering fails?
What you...
I'm deliberately failing it for you. The steering. Okay. So what are we going to do?
I've just idled the power.
Yeah, that's good. What else could you do?
Well, if the power went idle, I guess you could probably switch off the engine.
You could do that too, actually. What else? What is working there? The brakes.
Steering failure, and you
Yes.
could use differential braking.
Yeah, well, you could just stop the airplane. So off we go. Go ahead. So I shall simulate.
Can you actually continue taxiing with...
No, I
stop?
just stop. Yeah. Okay, so all of a sudden something's broken, and just apply the brakes. That's it. Not difficult, is it?
No.
There we are. Okay, good. So, carry on.
I guess it's good to do sort of these practices.
It is, because actually it's something I don't do very often. Okay, what if the brakes fail then?
The brakes fail, you just stop.
How do you do that though?
Idle the power.
Yeah, what if there's an airplane right in front of us?
Turn.
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's all common sense stuff, this. Yeah, good. Excellent. Yeah, I didn't say yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's fine. I didn't say... Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, I didn't say the steering had failed, so that's fine. Okay, what if the steering and the brakes fail, and there's an airplane ahead of us?
The airplane ahead of us?
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, close the power.
Yeah.
Huh. And just do that and it will stop quicker. I would have thought if it was continuing going, it would cause more drag.
Nope. No. There's no thrust now, so you're going to have to start it again.
Oh well. Well, good practice and fun.
It is, absolutely.
Right.
The radios need to go off.
Yeah. So, power checks. Yep, so magnetic keys in mags should be off. Look out. Clear prop! Magneto, start position, hand and throttle, mixture's fully rich. Oil pressure, rise, that's it. Magneto start, moving light should be out. Oil pressure should be rising. It is. RPM set to 1,200.
Good.
And ammeter shouldn't be losing any charge. There we go.
Okay, if you'd like to put us back on the runway then, for me please. Good. Okay, that'll do nicely. Now, I've never done this with anybody before, but okay, so, right, you've just started the engine. I'm going to turn these off, okay?
Yep.
You've just started the engine, and it's caught fire. What are you going to do?
Immediately.
This is what you increase from here. Close that.
Just look at the intercom again now. What you need to, it's not the best example because there's no, what you would do is, you would pull this out and you would start cranking the engine. Because it sucks the fuel, it sucks the fire back into the engine. You wouldn't do it, you'd only do it for 10 seconds and then contemplate what to do. But it would actually suck the thing. So close this and crank the engine. It's not necessarily what people would immediately think of, but that's what you want to do. So don't wait for the engine to stop, just pull this out and start cranking. But yeah, so that's what you do. So I think we've covered most emergencies on the ground. Yeah, so take me back then, please.
Back to the
back to the clubhouse, yeah, please. You look out there, Casper. There's some serious clouds. We could go and get airborne in a window, which we've got now, and then we get up there and we'd have to come back. We'd just waste the money.
Absolutely fine, Laurance. I completely understand, and I mean, just doing taxi practice is great.
This is actually good. I mean, yeah, and you know, you've done very well. So, but this is the sort of thing actually that is well worthwhile doing, because you just often we don't get chance to do this an awful lot.
Yeah, and obviously most of the stuff's in the air.
Yes.
But obviously you have to taxi to get to the runway.
You do indeed, yeah.
No, but thank you for at least showing me that. I mean,
no, that's good. Well, something else I'm going to show you before we get back. When you transit, and you've probably seen other people do this, when you cross between a hard surface and onto the grass, or vice versa, you do it at 45 degrees, full control column back, and as slow as you can. That reduces the chance of a propeller strike on the ground.
Got you.
Interestingly, on a twin, you do it the reverse. You do it at absolutely 90 degrees, because that actually increases the likelihood of a propeller strike, but we're not doing twins at the moment, so.
Yeah.
Have you taxied an airplane before?
Only very briefly, nothing like this before.
Okay, lovely. Some people are used it. Shall I demonstrate what people are like when they're taxiing? I have
If you
control.
want to, you have control.
Yeah,
Hard, is it?
it's quite interesting how completely inept some people are. So, but yeah, it's going to crash, crash, and they're not going anywhere they want to go.
Oh look, little deer.
Oh yes.
No, but always been learned small movements.
Yes.
And I mean, well, that's what you need really. And
Oh, it is. Yeah, just nice finger touch.
Yeah, they've been taught by many other pilots that don't over control.
Yes.
Feel like you over control. I think it's actually I don't know, Ian from the Hayer 9.
Yeah.
He's a British Airways pilot.
Oh right,
I think
yes.
I flew with him in like the what was it, Young Eagles event,
Right.
and I was flying with him in Sam's TB10 in fact.
Yes, yes.
That's actually how Sam told me of you. But no, I was flying with him, and he saw that I was over controlling or grasping the control really hard. He just told me if you ever do that, just let go and you'll not over control. So that's what I do from now.
Definitely. Oh, seriously, big clouds. They would be. You wouldn't want to fly in those. Not in a light aircraft, anyway.
What sort of clouds are they?
They are cumulus, but they're towering cumulus actually. So or bordering on towering cumulus, so they're pretty bumpy.
Okay.
Well, not pretty bumpy. They're seriously bumpy, and probably ice in there as well, actually.
Well, I completely understand.
It's a shame, but we've done some very useful things today, and we've spent a lot of time doing it, which is always very good actually, because one of the things about flying is often you don't get enough time to do things. So.
I mean, I've done pre-flight check with you.
Yep. At the start, you've never flown an airplane before, so.
No, that was brilliant. Twice.
Yes, well, actually, yes, absolutely, yes.
Always fun to scream clear prop.
Yes.
All right, where would you like me to go? Where we?
Well, I'll show you what to do in a sec. So,
oh yeah, because we need to go in the grass.
Yeah. So just after the little footpath.
Yeah.
So just after the footpath, turn us left at 45 degrees, full back stick. That's it, full back stick, that's it. And left 45, point just to the back of Lima Victor. A little bit of power, but a minimum amount. That's it. Good. There we are. So we're crossing over that. Propeller's clear of that. Now you can turn left again and go all the way round and park next to Lima Victor where we were before.
Sure, that was crossed. Golf Uniform Austin, vacated the taxiway, thank you. Uniform Austin, thanks very much.
It's quite different from being a tarmac to going to grass.
It is, isn't it? Absolutely, yes.
You apply a lot more power.
Yes.
You have to keep putting back on the stick, or?
It helps the nose off the ground, actually.